So something else that happened during the Super Bowl, Justin Timberlake performed, and man, was that a performance?
It does qualify.
Yes. You know, so I started to have a lot of worries about this performance. Probably the day before or I think it was the Friday when the album dropped, and they said there's gonna be a Prince hologram performing at this. I was like, is this gonna be the Tupac hologram from Coachella with Snoop Dogg? Like, first of all, Prince and Timberlake had like a very well-known beef in the music industry when Timberlake took shots at Prince in one of his songs. Which, I mean, first of all, Justin Timberlake having any depth to his songs in general and calling you out, I mean, just absurd. But,
exactly.
This I was pleasantly surprised because I think my expectations for the performance are kind of low, and I thought he did okay. He kind of did what I expected, where it ended with the most vanilla but popular song he's probably ever had in his career. He stuck to a lot of the older stuff for the main part. The Prince tribute I didn't think was horrible, although it's still like
it was tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful. And it was an impressive performance in terms of like the choreography was great. He was all over the field. He went to all these different stages. It was something. But
boy,
it's just, I don't know. I saw that you didn't like it very much. What were your take?
Well, no, I just thought the sound design was fucking bad. Like, his mic was off. He was quiet. I heard his reference track too much. It's like, I'm used to hearing the reference track when I'm watching Uzi Vert. You're not Justin Timberlake. It's a little different. So I don't know. I just thought the audio was a little off. And actually, it's funny. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she actually mentioned his mic as well. I was like, all right, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just my TV.
Yeah, everybody was like, turn the mic up.
Yeah, and it was like, it was solid. Like, he smartly only did the One Man on the Woods song, and he did it in that underground bunker because he wanted to hide the song because he knew how bad it was. But yeah, it's kind of funny to think about now, but Can't Stop This Feeling, a song we've made fun of for, damn near 2 years. That's his biggest hit.
Yeah. Crazy. It's very telling though, as we transition into the album that dropped on Friday, Man of the Woods, that a song like that, which I think the word we've used to describe it most often is vanilla. This album isn't even vanilla, dude. It's like the palate cleanser, I guess, that it doesn't taste like anything. There's nothing there. And
exactly.
He initially described this album as 808s mixed with Americana. So it's supposed to be Kanye mixed with Southern style folk.
Chris Stapleton.
Yeah. And man, he just missed the mark completely.
Yeah, he had the 808s, let me tell you. He had 808s on almost every song. But yeah, like you said, it's vanilla. It just sounds like the most lowest common denominator contemporary pop sound you can imagine. Like, he didn't do any ballads. It was just completely not what he was originally selling. And the cop out and say it's named after his son, Silas, whose name is of the woods or whatever. It's like, yep, but you still bought into the woodsman thing with the trailer and your outfits. So you couldn't actually take the risk with the music itself. So
even his outfit at the Super Bowl,
right? And like, if you didn't follow through on that and the music was still good, wouldn't care. Why would I bother? What's it matter? Sure. But because the music is also bad, it just makes it look even worse.
Yeah, and I thought there were some interesting like beats on the album, and obviously he went back to the well and produced with Timbaland and the Neptunes on most of these songs, but a lot of times the songs would like go on for way too long, and it seemed like when they did change up, the change up made absolutely no sense and just made me more confused about the song than anything. Like, what was the point of that? And lyrically, I mean, this album is just a mess.
He was never like an amazing songwriter, but the songwriting here is fucking bad. Like, it's just lyrically deficient. And I think the interesting thing is, like, you think about what Timberlake represents now as a competent, well-liked entertainer, broadly speaking. I can't help but think of him the way I think of his good friend. He's like Jimmy Fallon, Don't expect him to actually say anything. Just let him entertain you, broadly,
That's actually a great point.
That's all he can do. You know, I mean, he didn't really want to answer any questions about the Woody Allen movie Wonder Wheel he was in, which I think is kind of telling. He just, you know, he proudly has nothing to say. That's who Justin Timberlake always has been.
Yeah, it's a great point. You think about the songs that stand out to you about him, and none of them are actually meaningful or any way or really say anything. I think he does well when he leans on like love songs or heartbreak, which is a pretty common thing for most people to draw on. But even in this album, like you think about the last track, Young Man, which first of all features like a recording of his son at multiple parts on it, and Jessica Biel is also featured on the album multiple times. And the songwriting is just like you think about this kind of thing where you're writing a song to your son, and you think about like I don't know, like Cat Stevens comes to mind, you know, like the Cats in the Cradle, Silver Spoon song, that sort of thing. Where you're talking about like regret. This song is just like, yeah, you're gonna break people's hearts, and you need to get up when you get pushed down. It's like, all right, you're really not saying anything, and that's Justin Timberlake to a T. There's not really much more to say. I think "Filthy" is probably the best song off this.
Right, and it's not like that good.
Yeah,
I think Montana is like the best song in terms of the woodsy vibe he was pretending to sell you. Not to say that he cheats there, but you know he does lose the 808s a little bit at the end. But yeah, I think it's even honestly like, this album comes 4+ years after 2020 Experience Part 2. For such a long layoff, it's a pretty poor effort. You know, I don't know what else to say. Did he rush this out to match his Super Bowl performance where he could just sell the album? You know, I mean, maybe.
I can't imagine him working on this more would have brought more depth. It seems like he just doesn't have anything really to talk about at this point.
Nope.
I think he'll probably move more towards acting as he continues to move forward, because I think musically he's just kind of, you know, like you said, an entertainer.